What it is, YouTube, is your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a video here today. I wanted to talk about how to mix like Pharrell Williams. Even though Pharrell Williams is a producer, he also has a couple of engineers who have also helped contribute to sculpting his sound and everything. So I just wanted to show a couple of plugins today that can really help you achieve that mainstream Pharrell Williams type of sound. I've been listening to a lot of Pharrell lately, even if it's just like the Neptunes and even some of his more recent stuff like Brick by Brick. I think he did a song, and he did another great song with Sway Lee as well. Airplane Tickets, I believe it's called. So let's get to it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Support the channel. Check the links and let me know what you think about a video like this where I show plugins that are used to help some of these great producers like Pharrell help make their sound even better. Okay, so let's look. The first plugin that I know right here is like the fundamental foundation of the mixer who usually mixes for Pharrell, which is Leslie Brathwaite. Okay, so now this is really dope because I know he loves to use the UAD pull tech a lot. The pull tech is great because it has tube components in it, and he usually likes to sculpt his low end with this. So the great thing about something like a pull tech is it has this really tubby low end. Even before you actually bring in the equalizer circuit, it's already contributing to adding some of that girth. It's already putting on some weight, kind of like drinking Ensure, or drinking something like a weight gainer, mass gainer. You feel me? It's just kind of already making it more fuller by just running through it. Another great plugin too that Leslie Braithwaite loves to use is something like a Fairchild, right? And a Fairchild is also great. Imagine the low end to be like the cement, the foundation of the overall mix. You want it to be kind of really solid, because when the low end is solid, that's when you can build the rest of the mix on top of it and have it feel like a really nice, dope apartment complex. All right. So the Fairchild is another great plugin. Another great tool to use to get that Pharrell Williams type of sound is like something like LA 2A's. Now I know the vocals with Pharrell are usually recorded very well, but even then, something like a 2A is a timeless classic, maybe because of the release of the compressor. You feel me? So on the song like Happy, you feel me? How the background vocals are really long and sustaining. That's where something like a LA 2A would come in great, because if you have a stack of background vocals, what it will do is it will really stabilize it and keep it in one place, kind of like a good boy in elementary school, keeping it like a nice kid that's staying in position. You feel me? All right, so that's dope. So I know that Leslie Braithwaite likes to use these tools, and they're very cheap. I think they're on sale right now, and they're just like, you get the UAD Classic bundle, and it gives you everything that you need to get closer. The next tool that I know Pharrell loves to use, when they're mixing his music, and I know Mick Gazowski, I can't say his name directly. Mick Gazowski, he's another dope engineer that mixes for Pharrell a lot too. And I know that um Gust of Wind is the song that he mixed for Pharrell. Okay, so that's exactly what it is. And the Manly tube compressor is something like he likes to apply on his master fader a lot. A great compressor like this, even the Manly Massive Passive is another great tool. Even though it has the tube components in it, sometimes the tubes can help make things brighter and also a little bit smoother as well. I love how the tubes add harmonic density, especially in the upper mid range, that gives Pharrell's songs a lot of great presence and helps them cut through on the radio, on the phone, and any other platform. You feel me? Any device that you might be playing a Pharrell song on it. My favorite song from Pharrell right now is Brick by Brick. I really like that song. It's so freaking epic. The way the song really just feels forward. And sometimes you want to use tube plugins to get that sound of forwardness, because the tubes bring in that fullness in that mid range. So this is dope. I don't really use this plugin a lot. I use the massive passes more, but this plugin is really dope though, because even though it's tube, it's transparent, so it lets you, do a good amount of compression. When you use analog modeled plugins, just know it's gonna bring that stank, that funk to the material right away because of the components. That's before you actually equalize or you actually compress. So this is a really dope plugin right here that I like a lot, and that I learned that Pharrell uses. The next plugin here is gonna be the Eventide 2016, and I seen Mick Gozowski use this. This is really dope. Sometimes Pharrell, his drums are really dry, and maybe sometimes you want to apply a little bit of a space to the drum, whether it's like the snare or maybe like a bongo, or give something a separate ambience that kind of helps it separate from the rest of the drum rhythm that Pharrell be putting together. Sometimes Pharrell layers his drums. Most of the time he layers his drums too. So that's where a dope plugin like this comes into the play. SP 2016 Reverb is a timeless classic. I like to use it for the room. And the good thing about room reverbs is that they give that density to the low mid. For example, you've got a snare. Maybe the snare is kind of like, like missing some fullness. Maybe everything is really hitting really hard. You feel me? Everything feels thick in the bowl of oatmeal except for the berries that you put in there, which have kind of been softened up, right? So to make that thick and solidify a little bit more, you might apply maybe just a very short room reverb to a snare and turn the pre-delay off, instantly. Once that snare transient hits, you want that reverb to apply instantly. And just by tucking that down a little bit, not to the point where you can hear it, but feel it, will automatically kind of like really fill up that cookie jar of the snare, filling up that low mid. And that's something that I learned from analyzing Pharrell's mixes using a dope plugin like the SP 2016. It's also great for vocals as well. It has a bunch of different presets inside of it. And a great thing about it too is the position knob. It kind of reminds me of True Verb that Jason Joshua uses, but it kind of helps you with like almost like early reflections, in my opinion, and getting that front to back sound. You feel me? So you can really position things inside of the mix, kind of like it was Legos. When you play with Legos or like Tetris, you get to take the blocks and move the blocks in a certain way and organize things so they could sit inside of the box, which is the game, or it would be the mix in this case. Okay. Now let's look at the next really dope utility plugin I know Pharrell has on his mixes. Leslie Brathwaite uses this a lot, and this is going to be the SSLE channel strip. The SSLE channel strip is so perfect, especially on lead vocals, the Waves version, because it doesn't really fully model like the input saturation like the plugin alliance version does. The plugin alliance version, it has more color to it, more seasoning. And when you're starting to accumulate seasoning over and over and on the french fries, on the chicken, everything's got seasoning, it starts to maybe make your mix too colorful, too seasoned. So I like to use the SSLE, in my opinion, because it's somewhat transparent. But the SSLE is a Swiss Army knife, though, because it has filters, EQ, compression, gating, and expansion. So it makes it the perfect tool for any thing that you want to use in terms of vocal mixing. I like to use it on vocal mixing the most, but you can also use it on different elements. A great trick to use with the SSLE channel strip is to take the threshold. Just leave the ratio on 1 to 1, but open the threshold the whole way up, right? And just letting the sound run through the plugin, it will add saturation, adding specifically mid-range bites. It's got a dentist appointment. It's showing the teeth. It's got some grills. It's got some VVS diamonds in the mouth. It gives it more sparkle to the teeth of the mix. So I like to use the SSLE. So the SSLE is absolutely wonderful. Okay. The next thing and the last plugin that is a secret weapon on Pharrell Williams mixes a lot of the time, that both Leslie Bratworth uses a lot and Mick use, is going to be the Fairchild. In my opinion, the Fairchild is a secret weapon to get brightness and also size to a mix. With the Fairchild, you got to think about it. With Pharrell, a song like Happy, Gust in the Wind, many of Pharrell's dope, really dope songs, they have a sheen to it, right? Unfortunately, when it comes to mixing in general, to make your mix sound balanced, you can't really ever have too much of one thing. You can't really have too much top end or too much low end. You want it to be balanced, but kind of give the illusion that the brightness is there. And for me, the Fairchild plugin is what I usually go to. It's my go-to, right? Just by running it through these two components, it just gives the vocals brightness. I like to slap it on the master fader a lot of times, and it gives brightness over there too. So that's kind of like my secret weapon that I like to use. It's great for compressing vocals when you want something that, can keep a vocal in place but not get rid of the front end transients that will make the vocal lose presence. It's very smooth, you feel me? And it works incredible on bass. If you have an acoustic bass, or a lot of the times Pharrell Williams, he be having those guitars, those nice little the guitar licks and stuff like that. The Fairchild works great on that to just really make it feel warmer And because sometimes you're making something feel warmer using the transformer component in a plugin like this, it makes it just feel more intimate and cozy. So this is pretty much the end of the video here today. I just wanted to show a bunch of plugins that I know Pharrell Williams mixes like with, and the mentality behind why they use these plugins and why, you know, Pharrell Williams is so great. How he uses two engineers, and these two engineers use these two tools to really get his songs over the finish line and making him one of the most legendary producers of all times. It's never just the producer, it's also the engineer behind them that is making sure that the sonic ideas come to light. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me down below. You guys know how you like the writing and stuff like that. You know, I'm gonna put it. You know, you're gonna see. And yeah, you know, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you now, guys. Check the links down below to support the channel. Peace.